Hello, blessed greetings, and welcome to the Sabbath edition of Ellen White Speaks, here on the WSLM Radio Ministry Podcast, the voice of Sacrificial Lamb Ministries. It is Sabbath, April 27th, 2024. I am your host, Pastor Vince Wilson. So glad to be with you after being away for, let's just say, 2 weeks. I know you've been wondering where I've been. We haven't been sharing any new episodes over the past week and a half, 2 weeks. But as I explained during Your Daily Manna and during something called Yep, We're Still Here, I jumped on really quick earlier this week just to explain basically without going into a long explanation again. It's been a challenging couple of weeks, but we're back with you. God's grace has brought us through. And here we are once again for another edition of Ellen White Speaks. We've been spending some time in this book called The Three Angels' Messages, God's Proclamation for the Last Days. And this book is very fitting for what God has called this ministry to do. And I will say that this ministry is not the only ministry in the world that is teaching on the three angels' messages, that's preaching on the three angels' messages. No, we're not the only ministry that's doing so. But God has given us this book, has blessed us with this book. As a matter of fact, God blessed this ministry with this particular book for free. We didn't have to pay for this particular book. So, yeah, such a blessing. What a blessing. So I've been sharing excerpts with you from this book for quite some time. We are in the three angels' messages, right? In the third angel's message, I want to say. We've gone through the first and second messages. Now we're in the third angel's message. And I want to read from the Bible, in case you're not familiar with the three angels' messages, which are found in Revelation 14, 6 through 12. And the third angel's message comes from Revelation 14, 9 through 12. So the three angels' messages, the entirety of the three angels' messages is found in Revelation 14, 6 through 12. But the third angel's message is Revelation 14, 9 through 12. I'm going to read that, Revelation 14, 9 through 12, from the New King James Version. And the Bible reads, Then a third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, If anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints, and here are those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Again, that is the third angel's message found in Revelation 14, 9 through 12, and I just read from the New King James Version of the Bible. So now let me share this excerpt with you coming out of, once again, the book is called The Three Angels' Messages, God's Proclamation for the Last Days by Ellen G. White. We are in the chapter called The Third Angel's Message, and this particular excerpt is called A Great Work Yet to Be Done. A Great Work Yet to Be Done. She says, The cause of God is moving forward to its final consummation. 2 messages have been given, and they are followed by a third, which contains a fearful denunciation against commandment breakers. A great work is yet to be done, and God calls upon his watchmen to sound the warning notes. But Satan continues to deceive. Long ago, the time came when the Lord's messengers should have been fully equipped for warfare. But there has been among believers a settling down at ease. Sleepy, self-indulgent, backslidden, the people of God have not worked as they should. Few of those who claim to know the truth have gained a glimpse of the work that is being done in the heavenly sanctuary. That comes from manuscript 194, 1901, January 13. So there you have it, friends. A great work yet to be done concerning the third angel's message. This is the message that everyone, well, when I say everyone, all ministries, pastors, preachers, teachers, whatever, apostles, bishops, whatever office you hold, and you're listening to me right now, this is the message of the last days. I watched a YouTube video just the other day. The gentleman was talking about, basically, he was he was basically confirming what I've already felt or believed about ministry. And that is, there should be a balance. There are many ministries that all they preach about is Jesus, and we should preach about Jesus. It is about Jesus. But what I'm saying is, based on what this gentleman shared and what I totally agree with, is the fact that there needs to be a balance. There are many ministries who only preach about Bible prophecy. They only preach this doom and gloom, type of message, or these doom and gloom types of messages. Then on the other end of the spectrum, there are those who only preach and teach about Jesus, which again, we should preach and teach about Jesus. But the point is, there's no balance. And this ministry believes in having a balance. Yes, we're going to preach about Jesus. We're going to preach about those things. We're going to preach the gospel. But we're also going to preach about Bible prophecy. But then again, the messages concerning the last days, Bible prophecy, the three angels' messages in particular, that is part of the gospel too. So I don't know if I'm making sense to you, but the bottom line is there needs to be a balance. And many ministries, churches, whatever, are out of balance. They're only preaching on one thing or they're only preaching certain types of messages, but they're leaving other types of messages out. So, yeah. Again, when it comes to preaching and teaching about Jesus, you may be listening right now saying, well, Pastor, it is about Jesus. We should preach about Jesus. And that's true. This ministry in particular, and I can speak for this ministry, of course, we do preach about Jesus. Everything that we preach and teach about includes Jesus. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that this ministry does not want to be out of balance. We don't want to preach just the doom and gloom messages, and we don't want to preach just the, I don't know what else to say, the warm and fuzzies either. I mean, yeah, I think you get what I'm saying. There has to be a balance. There are messages being preached, that are being preached about Jesus, but they're not preparing people for the last days. Then there are those who are preaching about the last days. Some may consider them doom and gloom messages. Some may consider them fire and brimstone messages, but they're not preaching about Jesus. So, yeah, we want to have a good balance here at this ministry. And with the Lord's help, with the leading of the Holy Spirit, we will continue to have a well-balanced ministry where you're going to get both. You're going to get both. All right. That being said, friend, I hope you have a blessed weekend, a great Sabbath, a blessed Sabbath, and we will come back together once again, by God's grace, Monday morning for another edition of Ellen White Speaks. Be blessed.